Before I get to the wash bees, we saw Harambe Stars today. They lost 0-1 to South Sudan. I mean, South Sudan, how can you be losing to South Sudan? But you see, last week they had a slim win in Qatar. And so everyone, the problem with Kenyans is you see everything as an opportunity for hype and PR. And then you start spinning all these fake phrases like, oh, it's the dawn of a new era. Which era? The football, unlike politics, this is not Mutahingunyi's forte, where Mutahingunyi can cook narratives to give government officials time to steal. You understand? And to distract Kenyans' attention, or to destroy our social fabric, like how they did with Cambridge Analytica. Sports is a merit-oriented environment. There has to be performance. There has to be results. At the end of the day, that goal has to get in. It is beyond spin. You understand? Now, for you to get those results, there has to be the basic fundamentals that you must have achieved as regards to investment, in infrastructure, sporting infrastructure, the talent development, just a conducive environment, you're engaging with sponsors and everyone's and the fans alike, and with the government, you're not in conflict. So if you're not meeting those ones, then any win, you'll be getting an occasional win, and then you guys get hyped up for temporarily, because you guys are so you're so easy to trigger. You forget that this has been the same dysfunctional FKF. They were saying, blah, 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 Tanzania, they've qualified for AFCON. And when we ask them, why are you celebrating a friendly? And Tanzanians are celebrating an AFCON qualification. Oh, we were banned. They want to insinuate. They want to almost try and pretend that they were not part of that FIFA ban. So Kenyans, don't be easily carried away. Don't be, why must you Kenyans be so, are you that bored that any form of excitement will make you now the whole weekend you guys were just saying that these guys are the next England? Come on, man. You guys, give me a break, man. Sometimes you disgust me. Now, the second one is Andrew Kibbes. Andrew Kibbes was censored, was blocked. His YouTube accounts were terminated yesterday. And again, back to the Kenyan mindset where people don't see as if there's enough for everyone. Once you see that you've been unable to counter, to challenge a narrative, it has to be a battle of the wits. Once you see that now this narrative has taken ground and you are unable, despite being capable, despite being financially capable of challenging, because anyone who has a problem with Kibbes' message, you don't need to sacrifice his YouTube account built over years and all his social capital built over years just to stroke your bloated ego. You just need to challenge him that you have said this. I think it is wrong, and you win people by your side. That is diplomacy. That is what should be the norm. But us in Kenya, we have a tendency of once somebody else is thriving, your first instinct is to block him, is to terminate him, which is why we don't have the best human resource working in a government or in the private sector. Because what do? You spend more energy blocking people than actually being productive. You understand? It's almost like these people who sit down and say, we have to block these companies. So let's, like the importers, what they do, because they are so stupid, they create laws which are going to block local manufacturers from thriving so that they can be the only ones. Instead of competing, even calming them, they set up the industries. You see, like we are talking about the ASAL governors. Now we are going to El Nino. They haven't built any dam. And then once a drought comes, they are going to come and start emotionally blackmailing us. Yet, they have received 2 trillion shillings in devolution and CDF monies over the last 10 years. These guys can't build any industry. They are busy bribing your MPs with 20,000 bob and 10,000 bob in the toilet so as to pass laws which will suppress domestic production. Instead of them thinking that this is a big cake we can all share. No, the first instinct is let's finish this one, let's destroy this one. Even competitors these days, they are going to the desperation to the extent of let's murder this guy so that we can take his market share. You see, this is a bad mentality. This is a colonial mentality. There is enough for everyone. If I wish the people who are behind the termination of Kibbes' account could show us now what was the merit, who has who has complained? Or are there severe social economic effects from hearing that message? No, in fact, most of it is normally humor. But because you guys, you have a poverty mindset instead of an abundance mindset, you're supposed to be coming there and challenge him. And that whole back and forth, I mean, it would be a vibrant space for sharing ideas. You understand? So please, the people who are celebrating, I saw some people who are celebrating. Why are you celebrating, man? When what laws did YouTube use to terminate him? Obviously not the Kenyan law. The Kenyan law should be and the Kenyan constitution should be paramount, should be what they rely on, not their laws, not their standards. It should be, but we should be having our local, the people who fight for freedom of expression, freedom of speech. They should be at the forefront. So it's a sad day to see people, especially celebrating just because you couldn't counter that his narrative, and it wasn't really even a narrative. Everything Kibbes has been doing is very spontaneous. Yeah. So let's come to we lost collectively someone called Sean Kadivilis. He was a sports anchor at Capital FM and other media houses over the past couple of years. Me and him, like, we've been trying to do an interview. We had been trying, and he was texting me, and somehow, and that is one thing I'm going to regret, not doing that interview. But may he rest in peace. In earlier interviews, he had spoken about getting the COVID jab. He first got a lung infection, which infected the heart. And then as he was healing, he was, I think, pushed into getting the vax, which he himself blamed for, saying everything after he got the vax just deteriorated. It was a downhill from there. And so for you in the future, I want to give you tips to survive this horrible environment. There are two media houses. One is called Tuko, one is called Kenyans. These are media houses which have not been, they don't raise money, from venture capitalists or from anyone. We don't know how they survive, but they seem to be very well funded, very well equipped. They are always running with narratives. Even today, they were running something about ID. If you see anything pushed by those two media houses and some politicians, like now in my for my case, I used to look at Fred Matiang'i. Anything Fred Matiang'i was promoting, I would just do away with it. I knew the moment he started promoting the vaccine, I knew this is a scam. So you look at the politician who is everywhere, but he's nowhere. Like now I'm looking at Moses Kuria. Anything Moses Kuria is promoting, I'm not buying. And then you look at now these two media houses, which I told you, they always promote their tweets and they turn them into newsworthy, memes and whatever. Shield yourself by staying away from anything that is promoted by those two media houses. This is just a tip to you. You can listen, you cannot. Finally, we were talking about wash people. It's within the last 10, 15 years, it's been a case, wash. Some Muzungus have come, the money has been stolen. They are bogging us down because they go voluntary. And I'll tell you one thing about Muzungus. Muzungus are attracted by a certain caliber of locals. Even from the colonialists, they look for the biggest assholes and then they make them the chief. They make them the home guards. They used to look for the guy who is the biggest asshole. Even like now, somebody like Safaricom CEO, Michael Joseph, when he was a CEO, he had surrounded himself with a guy like Peter Arena. Peter Arena is one of those guys, power suit, power tie, fake British accent, but he's the biggest idiot because Peter Arena, when he left Safaricom, we went there, East African Portland Cement, he raised it to the ground. Is no longer a concern. He demolished it, but Muzungus are carried away by such characters. They are very genuine people who are doing the gold business. With every scandal that explodes, there are maybe 2 or 3 other deals that work through. But these guys deliberately don't want to deal with legitimate gold people. They take themselves to these other characters because, of course, they want to be connected politically. They want to be connected. That's what they want. They also want that hype. And so they deliberately take themselves to danger. So shall we keep on being swayed by news that Muzungu has been stolen? It's them who take themselves there. There are people who are doing genuine gold business because gold is a big thing now, as people are de-dollarizing and whatever. But that's so these Muzungus are also partly to blame. Yeah, they might be victims, but they're also partly to blame, and we can't keep on discussing about them year in, year out when they are the ones who are taking themselves to thugs.